All right, guys, so I am making pasta for dinner and I ran out of dish liquid as I was doing my dishes. So I don't really feel like going out again. I'm wondering if I should. I don't feel like it. And it's dark out and I have other things to do here, right? So, I went out today. I just want to say something. And I did some errands. And it is very important to have people around you that encourage you. So, tomorrow is my son's birthday, and my husband and I have 5 sons. I say husband because in God's eyes, he's still my husband. And I had someone today, I was telling them what happened, and I tell everybody, my husband abandoned me, he left me, he took a fit of anger and left me, and blah, blah, blah. So, but be for God. Um, I've been doing really good out here, and that's all God. It's all for Him. It's not about me. I try to point to God to help people. So, hopefully I don't knock this off on so that it shuts off. So, anyways, write a new chapter with your husband. Write a new chapter. Chapter 1 is done. Volume 1 is done. Start chapter 2 with him. Somebody said to me, either God is going to redeem your marriage or there will be restoration. So if he does, God decides. It's up to him. It's not up to me. Yes, I love my husband. Yes, I love you, Ben. Yes, I love my husband. But God is either going to bring restoration or he's going to redeem the marriage. Just like abortion. God redeems abortion. Not enough women hear this. I was talking to someone who said yesterday on YouTube, oh, this woman deserves to go to jail. She had an abortion and she wanted more kids. And I said, that's the best thing for her, to have some kids, to actually feel the love of God through children. And she's like, God can work in many ways, or whoever this person was. You can have a mentor help her heal, or you can have this, or you can have that. I said, true, but you can also have a kid who helps you to heal. Children are great, guys. They really are. And I was watching today when I was at the grocery store, this dad with his little son, and he was so proud of his son, it looked like, and he was helping him with the, looking like he wanted to ride on the cart, but the dad's like, nope, you're sitting in here. And boys are super fun. They really are. But you know, it's important to remember that abortion can be redeemed. It's not the scarlet letter. It is not. And especially for girls who don't know. So God has a way, when you come to him, everything the enemy took from you, God will redeem it and he will give you more for him, for his name's sake, than you had before. He will give you everything. And that is a promise in Scripture. It says, he who has left family, children, property for my name's sake will be repaid 100-fold. Sometimes we don't get paid right away, right? For everything we do. And I was looking at pictures last night, some memories from growing up, looking at a Sears catalog, looking at stuff. I'm like, how did I forget that? How did I forget that from my childhood? Oh, look at those roller skates. I had roller skates. My parents let me roller skate in the driveway. That is a fun memory I had. A pogo stick, a jump rope, just the littlest things that made me happy. And, usually we had one doll when we were young, right? Just one. And we didn't have all the dolls girls have now, where they just have a little Barbie doll and then they throw her away. Then they get another one, and then another one. Oh, and this one's better. We had one, right? And we were pretty happy with her. So, it's the little things in life that are important, guys. And so abortion can be redeemed. It can be. I mean, I had so much love from my grandmother growing up that I so appreciated that. And I had a good life. I really did. And even though my life is also new in God now, a new life in God, I have so many memories to hold on to from the past that actually helped me to forgive my parents choosing abortion. A lot of people feel like, oh, the girl is just, she's just wanting to be, not to have a baby. She just, whatever the reason is. Girls need help, guys. They need real help. Not, oh, I'll help you raise a baby and then trash you in the meantime. But no, I will, give you real help. So that's what we need. And the same with our marriages. That guy today who said, your marriage is either going to be redeemed, meaning everything the enemy tried to take from you through your husband and his parents, God is going to pay them back, and he's going to take care of you. Or he will restore it. He will bring back your marriage and your family. And so it's time to write a new chapter, guys, in life. There are times we go through hard things in life. I was reading the story of Jacob. I love Bible studies. And I was studying the story of Jacob and how his mother was trying to, get a future for herself by telling Jacob, Jacob's father, not Isaac, not to allow Jacob to marry certain women because she wanted a good future, right? And so she was trying to control that. And how even with all the betrayal and everything they did to the dad when he was dying, it came back on Jacob. Jacob worked for, was it Rebecca or Rachel? Rachel worked for Rachel for 7 years, and then the father tricked him and said, here, have my daughter Leah instead. And he's like, look, I worked for 7 years for you. And the father lied and said, no, you can have Leah instead and then work for Rachel 7 more years. So all that trickery kind of went back on Jacob. And we can see, though, that God still works through all the family dynamics, all the generations, all the families that have a lot of trash that happens in life. God is still in control. So God is the one who's going to decide whether Ben and I work things out and we stay together for the rest of our lives, or whether he'll just redeem the story in his own way. And it is very comforting, ladies, to know that even when God means it for good, and those other people meant it for evil, even when people try to hurt you in life, God is in control. That is so comforting, that even if they do, have some of their plans come true, it's only because God allowed it. God allowed my husband to leave. He allowed him to abandon me and lie and try to trash me. And he allowed it so that I would need God more. So we always get the victory, ladies, as Christians, always. And this is why I say I'm kind of a tough cookie. I've had a son. I was listening to the radio today of a dad who couldn't even listen to a song because his daughter tried to commit suicide. I had a son who did that. I mean, I've been through a million things, and I can tell you there is nothing, not one thing that you go through in life that God does not have you. When I had my interview, the girl said, what's the hardest thing you've been through in life? And I said, there's been a lot of stuff. I didn't talk about the abortion. I didn't talk about that. I didn't talk about losing my child to abortion. But I said probably one of the hardest, and I didn't talk about my father disowning me. I didn't talk about my mother basically saying, oh, it's too hard to have a relationship with you. What is that noise? I didn't talk about that. I didn't talk about my in-laws. I said probably one of the hardest things that I have been through was my husband betraying me. And I said it was 33 years, of, I think 31 once he started a divorce. Plus a whole childhood together, a lifetime together. You thought you knew someone. I said, that's probably been the hardest thing I've been through so far. And I said, but God, I didn't talk about the fentanyl my son almost died on. I said, but God made me stronger through it. So, there's nothing, guys, that you can go through. God's got it all. He's got your back.